My name's Samantha Liscio. I'm the CIO for the Central Agencies Cluster for I&IT in the Ontario government. So I started from university. I came from Ireland with a PhD in geomorphology, which has absolutely no connection to IT. I started off as a test center administrator for Drake, and the company that also administered testing was a technical training company. So I ended up teaching right in the Windows 3.1 days, teaching folks how to use Word and Excel. From then I ended up consulting, worked my way up through a consulting company to become a partner, had some work with the Ontario government as part of that, really enjoyed that, lots of complex problems to solve, and have been working in government in IT for the last 9 years. So I was I elected to educate myself on the pure IT side. How I related that back to the business was more a function of work experience. So when I started out being a trainer in the application training company, it was understanding how to take those fairly complicated computer terms and be able to translate them into business language that was most effective. And I think as I went through the rest of my career, that has been a fundamental aspect of being able to build relationships, is to take what can be complicated and complex language and to be able to translate it into business terms. Things that I may have done that might have helped my career path towards CIO, and whether or not that was conscious or not, I think definitely being able to communicate in clear and concise business terms has been an asset and something that I've seen the value of and have valued throughout my career. Being able to talk to business people in business language is a phenomenal asset, and one that I think you can cultivate through school, but also as you start to think about where you want to be from a career perspective, you should be choosing your options around jobs that you take related to how you can develop that skill set. Make sure that you're reading business newspapers and business publications. Make sure that you're familiar with some of those, the terminology that business people use. Whether or not you're a financial guru doesn't really matter, but you need to understand the fundamentals of a balance sheet, and to be able to think about quarterly earnings reports and what that means in the context of a business. And you can get a lot of that through reading articles in The Economist magazine or being familiar with the Financial Post business section. So things that you can be doing outside of school just to kind of broaden your knowledge about what that terminology is and getting comfortable with it. So what I think might be missing in recent graduates that are looking for employment, I think there might be a bit of an expectation gap sometimes. So there are folks that have come and applied for positions that are very senior positions. And they're straight out of school and they want to, I want to be ruler of the world in 3 years. You've got to be realistic about your expectations. And I think there's definitely an ability that you have and a contribution that you can make, but you've got to make sure that that's at the right level. And be prepared for some work that may not always be 100% interesting and invigorating all of the time. 60% of the work that you do in an entry job is interesting and challenging. The 40% of the other work that you have to do, you kind of put up with it and do it and move on, rather than thinking that it's always going to be interesting and challenging all the time. It's not going to happen.